Hey guys, Josh here from Heart Fitness Pro. Today we're going to go over how to track your food, and we're going to go through that while I put together a meal. So first thing I like to do is I like to open up myfitnesspal. That's what I use for tracking, and I like to put my meal in there so I can see how much food I need to make, what I need to prepare so I can actually get it ready. So I put all the food in there, and then what I like to do is I like to make sure that I have my tools that I need to measure my food and track it. So you need yourself some sort of measuring spoons. I got here a bunch of different ones, and I have here an adjustable one. You also need a measuring cup and a food scale. Now, if you don't have a food scale, you can buy one on Amazon for super cheap. I will put the link for this one that we use here in the description below. And if you're wondering why we're tracking food, well, you can watch this video, and that is Lauren talking about why we track our food and how it is such a powerful tool. So, first thing we're going to do now is I'm going to start going through my food and start taking you through how to actually track it. So I am now going to start with quinoa. So I made some quinoa. Grab my quinoa here. Woo, got a big pot of quinoa. So I'm going to be having steamy quinoa. 3/4 of a cup of quinoa. So I'll get my measuring cup. Put it in there. A little bit too much. And then I throw it into a bowl. Super easy. Next thing, we're gonna get the chicken. So I've already cooked my chicken, and this is leftover chicken. So get my chicken out. I'm going to turn on my scale, make sure it goes to 0, and I want 125 grams. We're gonna put that on. So we can see that is a little bit more than 125 grams. It's 131. So that means we need to cut some off of this chicken. So cut a bit off. Put on there. Ooh, now in the middle. Put some more on. 126. Pretty close. We're gonna go with 126. Now I'm gonna chop my chicken. I'm gonna throw that on my quinoa. Awesome. So now I am also gonna have a side salad with my quinoa and chicken. So I'm gonna get that together. So I'm gonna start with my romaine. Get my romaine lettuce here, not looking too hot, eh? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of the leaves that don't look so good. Get rid of those leaves. This looks pretty good. Give it a little rinse. And then chop this romaine up. Toss in the bowl. Now I put about a cup of romaine. So where's my measuring cup? We're gonna throw it in there. And there we go, about a cup of romaine. So throw that in the bowl. And with that romaine, I'm gonna be having 2 cups of spinach. So we're gonna get the spinach out. My box of spinach. I like to look through my spinach a little bit because sometimes these boxes have kind of slimy ones, like that. Don't really want to eat that. So I like to just go through my spinach a little bit slower and make sure that it is not slimy, because you don't want to eat those ones. Now I got 1 cup of spinach. I like to give a little scrunch because then it holds the dressing better. Throw that in the bowl. And you know what, looking at this, I'm actually seeing that I don't really have more room for spinach. So we're gonna stick with the 1 cup instead of the 2 cup. So this is where I will make a little adjustment in myfitnesspal, and I will change it from 1 cup of spinach, or 2 cups of spinach, to now 1 cup of spinach. So this is where you can start making adjustments with what you put in. Next thing I need to do is get out a carrot. So I've got 1 large carrot here. And now we're gonna chop this. And this is gonna go on to that salad as well. And we're in 1 large carrot. You can put that right into myfitnesspal. Super easy. Throw that into the salad. Next, I have a pepper. So I get a red pepper. Let's see how much I put in for that. And that we have half of a pepper. So we're gonna eat half this pepper. So easiest way I find to cut a pepper is you cut down, and then you start to cut around the stem here, and then, boom, Bob's your uncle. There we go. Then we knock out those seeds, and give this a little chop. Now for what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna actually take half this red pepper, and I'm gonna put half on my salad, I'm gonna put half with my chicken and quinoa, in order to add a little bit of flavor to both of these, because I really like red pepper quite a lot. So I got my half of red pepper. All right, next we have my nutritional yeast. That's what we got. So if you haven't ever had nutritional yeast, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely freaking delicious. It is a wonderful thing to add to your meals. It is pretty low in calories, decent amount of protein as well. So this is where my spoons start to come up. So I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast to both of these. Add a little bit of flavor. It adds kind of like a cheesy flavor, which is really, really nice. And as I said, also has a lot of protein, also a lot of B vitamins too. And then I'm going to add half a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds to my salad. So I'm gonna use this one now, now I'm gonna move to half a tablespoon. Now that doesn't have half a tablespoon. We're not gonna use that. This one's got a teaspoon, and a teaspoon plus a half teaspoon equals half a tablespoon. So that makes it super easy. So there we go. Switch that. Now I got my half a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds on my salad. Next, I am going to put on 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Put 1 teaspoon on my salad and 1 teaspoon on my chicken and quinoa. Add a little flavor. I'm using a spicy olive oil, chili pepper olive oil. It's got a little kick and adds a nice little flavor to your meal as well, which is wonderful. So a teaspoon is gonna go on both of these. Oh, that's a half teaspoon, so that's why it's good to check. So I'll add another half teaspoon for a full teaspoon on this salad. And then I'm gonna switch over to the teaspoon for this guy over here. Teaspoon over here for a little spicy olive oil, a little bit of a kick. Now it's good to measure your oil when you're putting on your salad. The reason for that is a lot of times people will dump a lot of oil and they'll take a salad that could be low calorie and they turn it into a very high calorie thing. I used to do that all the time. I used to eat way too much oil on my salad. And I thought, hey, I'm eating low calorie. Turns out I was not, because I was pouring like 3 tablespoons on a salad. So good thing to be aware of and a good thing to do when you're making your salads. Next, a little apple cider vinegar. Great thing about this is 0 calories. So you don't need to put it in your phone because there are no calories. So it doesn't really matter. So for this one, you don't even have to measure it. I'm gonna measure it because I know how much I typically like my salads. I like a tablespoon. So I'm gonna throw that on there. You can also put less, you can put more, whatever you want. You know, get fun with it. Enjoy yourself, live your life. Okay, so next, now I'm gonna throw some spices on. So throw some salt, pepper on both of these. Don't have to measure these guys. Don't have to measure your spices. Now, if you're using something like sugar, sugar's not a spice. You should measure your sugar. You're using sugar. But you shouldn't be using sugar if you're on the Tone True Challenge. Next, I'm going to throw some oregano on my chicken and quinoa here. Add a little bit of flavor. Next, go to smoked paprika. Now, always use spices because they are delicious. They make your food better. If you tell yourself you're not a good cook, the reason you're not a good cook is because you're just not using spices. If you want to get better at using spices, just look up some spice mixes. I'll also put one of my favorite spice mixes in the description below, so you can check that out and use that on some of your dishes. It is fantastic, and I love to use it. So a little garlic powder here on both as well. And boom, all done. That is it. So I got my salad here. I've got my chicken and quinoa. I am so excited for this. It's gonna be a delicious lunch. And you saw that didn't take too much time. It's about, getting into the habit when you're tracking. At the start, it can take a little bit extra time and you feel a little frustrated, but that's why I like to put everything into my phone and into MyFitnessPal before the meal, because it speeds things up a lot. You know how much you need to chop, what you need to prepare, and it just gets things going a little bit faster. And once you have the tools out, you get your measuring spoons here, you got your measuring cup, and you got the scale, things become a lot quicker, which is great. because you get in the habit and it just moves very quickly, and it's very powerful because it really helps you get your results. It's like, Vince Carter going down the lane and there's no one around. It's like a slam dunk. It will work if you are measuring your food appropriately. Now, if I was to take that olive oil I had before and just start pouring it all over the salad, and I was like, hey, that's probably a teaspoon. That's not going to work because it's probably not a teaspoon. It's probably a tablespoon. It might be more. So that's why we actually want to measure. So we're actually making sure that we are getting results. Now, as a quick little demo of how to measure your food. Hopefully you found this useful. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, a like, leave a comment, or let me know if you have any questions. We are here to help. And go to heartfitnesspro.com if you want to do the trim and tone challenge, and if you want to join in with us. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.